This video is going to show you solo GM getting platinum rank on the weekly featured grandmaster this week on a Arc Hunter. Just a kind reminder to people, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. The reasons why you want to subscribe today are as follows. My style is impetuous, my defense is impeccable. Offer your heart as a sacrificial offering to me, Guardian. I want to eat your heart. Give it to me quickly. So, this user by the name of Rocky Russell 9957 states this. Requesting a pure bread and butter build Arc Strider with the Moth Keeper. I would love to see how you would play with it. So what he means by pure bread is a single element subclass. Alright, now let's get one thing straight because a lot of people getting confused lately. Prismatic is prismatic. Prismatic is not a stasis build, it is not an arc build, it is not a solar build, it is a prismatic build. So when somebody says, I want an arc build or a solar build, they mean on one single element. Since if they wanted a prismatic build, they would say the key word prismatic. Wouldn't you think so? Okay, there's a distinction there. Why are Guardians getting confused? I guess there's a lot of new lights knocking about. So, staying true to what the guy asked, he is the build. So on an Arc Strider with Arc Staff, yes, we're using that one. We have Marksman's Dodge over Gamblers. So you need to pay attention to all of this because you need to understand this build. It's an actually highly complicated build, kind of. And you need to understand how all the fragments and things are going to interact with each other. So I recommend that you watch this portion of the video to really understand the build. If you start commenting saying, I don't understand it, watch the intro. I've made a video. I've put the patience and time into the video. Why would you not watch the build portion of it? So please watch it so that you can understand it. So we use Marksman's Dodge because it's more grenades than what Gambler's Dodge is. Yes, you can get grenades via your dodge. Isn't it a surprise that you can? You'd think so. No, Marksman's Dodge is much more effective than Gambler's in terms of getting grenade energy. There'll be more on that in coming up. We're using Disorienting Blow because it's a blinding melee and it amplifies you. This is much better than Combination Blow. It's better in slot. We don't care about grenade. When you use the exotic gauntlets that I'm using, which are called the Moth Keeper's Wraps, they have an intrinsic cooldown to that grenade, so it doesn't matter what grenade you use. As far as my research shows me, it doesn't matter. You will still get the same cooldown nade no matter what. Obviously, the higher your tier of your discipline, you know, I'm using a tier 10 discipline, so I'm getting my grenade based on that only. Doesn't matter what nade you use, okay? Aspects are very important. We're using Flow State and Ascension. Now, Ascension is basically 100%, even more than that, uptime on Amplified. We need to be amplified as much as possible with this build. I would not recommend to you any other fragment. Temper Strike is not very good as a aspect. Do not use it. Ascension is much, much better for this because you can proc Amplified behind cover, which is very, very powerful. And Flow State, when you defeat a jolty target, you become amplified. So both aspects are best in slot for amplification. Got it? Next slot. Fragments. Your arc grenades jolt targets. The Moth grenades are arc grenades and will jolt targets on hit. This is a mandatory fragment you must put on for the build. Spark of Ions gives us ability energy when we defeat a jolty target, which is pretty much all the time. This is very good. We get more great energy as a result. Spark of Beacons. While you were amplified, your arc, special or heavy has a blinding explosion. Yes, this does double stack with my build. Don't think that it doesn't, because it does. Because it tells you final blows creates a blinding explosion. The gun in mine does not do a blinding explosion in the exact same manner. And I will give you the distinction when I get to that. Spark of Focus is absolutely fantastic in this. It enables us to spam grenades. Spark of Focus is a very, very slept on fragment, and I can basically keep dodging and getting my grenade back. This absolutely needs to go on, in my opinion. Alright, so the build or the gun in question is Exterus. So it says that it does blind them, but it doesn't do the blinding explosion as per se. So Spark of Beacons will double stack with Loyal Moths. I hope that you pick up this information. If you comment saying that it doesn't, you are wrong. I have already tested it. Don't test my patience on it. I have already tested it. I have it with Catalyst. Weapon and rage is faster while amplified. Right? So we want to get amplified as much as possible, and that's what the build's all about. Okay? With Moth Keeper's Wraps, which gives us 2 loyal Moth Grenades, of course. Weapon-wise, why did nobody tell me that Imperative rolls with Demolitionist? All this time, Guardian, you haven't told me. Come on, expert PvE players, why haven't you come and told me this stuff? I was just doing some research. I was like, there's got to be a scout with demo and kinetic. I was like, oh, Imperative, this works well. It works very well in actual fact because we want demolitionist weapons, all right? We want that. That's very good. And we're using a Arc LMG to substitute what Thunderlord would have done for me in the previous runs because we can't run Thunderlord because we're using XDRS. This is a fantastic Arc LMG. You need to go and craft it. It is very, very good. All right, we've got target lock, eddy current on it. It's just a good Arc LMG, honestly. Build is ammo mods are on screen. I'm not going through them all for you. There'll be a dim link. Enhanced Nightmare Crusher does kind of work in GMs, so make sure you use that. And Special Finisher is very important to the run, but there'll be more information in depth about the entire build, etc. So as we start, we want to launch our skimmer and fly towards the first building because we need to kill the harpies. I recommend that you just do this because there's a chance of them killing you because of Void Threat. Make sure that you got a skimmer equipped, not a sparrow. It's going to be easier with a skimmer. Sparrow's faster. Skimmer is easier. Use a skimmer because there's some strategies coming up that's going to make your life easier. Take out the 3 harpies. Then we're going to get a stun with the moth grenade and then just spam all Exterus. Exterus sounds like some weird name. Then we're going to bait the 2 overlords if we can. Look at this. What? He should be baited. So we want to bait them near this rock. This allows us to not have to do ag clear. So look at this. We get our moth up, which gives us overshield, plus it jolts. Right? Then we stun both overlords. Then get a finisher kill. That will proc special finisher. So you need plenty of orbs. Alright? You need to make sure that your build consists of getting some orbs. Alright? You can run elemental charge. There's a bottle that you can pop and do things. I can't be asked popping the bottles, I'll be honest. We'll speed up the footage from here now. We'll just scan the ghost. Now, I've already showed this strategy off this week. You just need to kill 2 harpies. That is it. Left or right is RNG on which Hydra you get first. Take out the harpies on left if it is left. Then focus the Hydra only. Do not kill any other enemy. It is a waste of time. Try and jolt him with your moth, which will blind the Hydra as well. So it blinds and it jolts. Then spawn skimmer. Then go to the other side of the map. Do not super, because part of our strategy is to have a super for the next section. Do not super at all. Just jolt and scout. Kinetic tremors will deal with the Hydra in 2 to 3 mags if you get a good jolt off. Right, then we take out the crates. Now here's the strategy to skip. You will still get platinum rank. This is foolproof, future-proof, everything. And look, we get join allies, but the checkpoint updates. We then spawn our skimmer. And then look, we can skimmer right across. This will skip barriers and cyclopses. This saves a good minute and 30. Now look at this. Now tell me that skills don't pay the bills in my house. Look at the float over the lasers. To be fair, I could have got that a little bit lower to the lasers, couldn't I? But that is the strat. Now just dodge past these. There's no supplicants because we've done the skip. This, as I'll confirm it to you again, you will get platinum rank. You have skipped champs by stopping the spawn because we have used a mini exploit, which, you know something, is pretty nice because the way people are feeling in Destiny 2 at the minute, I like little exploits sometimes. So the strategy here is to do some moth damage, get first shield break, then pop super. This is way safer than it looks. It looks dangerous, but honestly, it's not. Then when our super runs out, we need to go behind this rock and then deal with the champ. Now, you can absolutely spam special on this. You can really, really spam Exterus, which you can one-cycle a champ right away with Exterus. But make sure that you time and your special finishes. to look at armor charge. By the way, special finish is sometimes bugged and doesn't work on a finisher kill. If that happens, just finish the next target or what have you. Right, so next operation is Overload. We have our super. We're going to well, we nearly have our super, should I say. We're going to get amplified with Ascension. So let's explain the two I actually have two builds in one here. Now, don't argue with it because it's correct. All right, I have Spark of Focus to spam grenades with Bomber. Bomber seems to give more energy when we do a dodge as opposed to Ascension, because Ascension's kind of not your class ability, it's something different. But if I'm playing from a range or I need amplified immediately, I will use Ascension. This will allow Exodus to double blind enemies. It will blind on hit and blind an explosion. It blinds on hit and then Spark of Beacons comes in and says hello there and gives an explosion and then does more blind. Remember, you're double stacking blinding with this. I don't want to hear comments saying it doesn't double stack. It does. I've tested it. I've already tested it. I've beat you to the comment. Now we want to take this Cabal enemy down, the champ. We spawn him early. We want to spawn him in early because he's a nuisance and slows this entire room down. If we do it now before Overload spawning, it's better. Now, that was unfortunate. We're a little slow on the reload there. So we didn't get exactly our shield break as we should. But we'll just re-break the shield again. Kinetic Tremors, that's no problem. We're not wanting to spam too much abilities right now because we're going to spam a ton right now. So we're going to absolutely spam our moths and things. Champ is just about dead. Short circuiting is active. Let's reproc that. Dodges can stop short circuiting as well. That's another thing. I'll come more onto that in a bit though. So we need to spam our moths and Exodus. We want to get that jolt and that blind damage and try to deal with champs plus all adds. Right? Our goal is to take all these adds before the Raven spawn because sometimes they'll spawn in a little bit soon and we don't want that. We want to deal with these overloads ASAP as soon as, right? So that's why we're spamming our stuff now, right? I'm already amplified so I don't need to do Ascension. So the thing with Ascension, by the way, we're going to super these Ravens. We're just going to blind them and super them. So the thing with Ascension is with Spark of Focus, when you run after you've popped an Ascension, you will get your Ascension back in like 7 seconds. I haven't timed it, but roughly. That is insane back-to-back Ascension spams. But he's the kicker. It doesn't work that well with Bomber because it's not a class piece. Bomber is fantastic for hunters, right? Because you can spam more dodges. With Spark of Focus, you can dodge and then run while amplified and then dodge and then get grenade energy as you're running. This is insanely useful for the final boss. Okay? It is insane. Not only that, we've got demo on our imperative, right? Which when we need to use the scout, which we do at times for barriers and stuff, any kills that we're getting is demo. We're getting more grenade. It's enhanced demo as well. So we're getting more grenade energy back. Being able to spam more moths. Right? Now look at that. We do an Ascension. We've already got our class ability back before I could even commentate on it. So understand there's two playstyles within this build. Proc and amplified in range, out of range with the Ascension, and then also playing aggressive, run around, keep dodging to get nades back when we need it. Okay, so as long as we are understanding that it's sort of two different ways of playing, which is very, very good for a build. We're going to spam Exodus because there's special ammo behind me. If the snipers leave a brick behind, use Exodus, then pick up brick, and look, good ammo economy. Not that we need to be that careful. We've got special finisher on, which is incredible for this. So it allows us to spam so much ammo. It's a weapon that you just spam over and over, like area denial GLs. Right? Now, with the overloads here, we're going to bait the overload. We don't want to push up too far because that opens Cyclops up at the back of the map. We don't want to open the Cyclops up. Just so that you know that if you go and push the overload too far, Cyclops opens up and you might die. So, we just want to stun with nade. We want a nade for both overloads. Pay attention to grenade energy the entire run, please. And class ability energy with Spark of Focus, with the amount of dodges that we get. I think I've seen a lot of comments about Titan mains and Warlock mains. When they see Hunters dodging a lot, they wonder why. Are people aware? Do I need to make a video about class armor mods? We have Outreach and Bomber on the class piece. This allows you to build into melee based builds or grenade builds. Are people not aware of these mods? I'm really confused why people don't understand why people use class abilities for ability energy. I guess they don't understand it or don't know. So use your skimmer and float across the battlefield. Do not go on the ground. It's actually more consistent in the air. They're less likely of you to die. Do it exactly as I just showed you. Kill the Cyclops, then come here to bait both Ravens. Skip the entire tank section. It is only a waste of time. There's no need to ever pick a tank up in this. Don't ever pick it up. You're just wasting your time doing it. All you want to do is clear these Ravens. Now look at this. We got double Bane. Double Bane. So let's use Arc Staff. By the way, obviously we have not got Raiden Flux on. So how much is his damage doing? It's doing very good damage still. It's still holding up. At least on VIPs, Ultras and Majors, Arc Staff's still good without Raiden. Where Raiden comes in, its power is its damage against bosses. So this super's not very good on certain bosses, and I'll explain that when we get to the final boss of this GM on its weakness. Arc Staff is weakness. It hasn't got many weaknesses, but there is one huge one, and you'll see it at the footage. So we're taking care of the Minotaur here and the sniper to our right before we go in there, right? We'll just do that, then we'll dodge through there. And what we want to do now is deal with this overload. He's pushed to the left, so I'm just going to take him. We've got low ammo on Exodus, so we're going to spam Special Finisher. So we have two ways of jolting champs. Ascension and our nade. Our loyal Moth nade. That is very, very important. Like, we can spam Ascension back to back. I don't see why you would want to use Tempest Strike in this. I don't know why. I seriously don't know. Like, I guess I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to say to you, I'm recommending to you Ascension on an Arc Hunter build, especially a blind one, because it gives you amplified no matter where you are. Even if Ascension doesn't cook for you 50 meters away, it doesn't matter. We want amplified to enrage our gun, because that's part of the exotic perk, to enrage it. And it's more likely to be enraged faster when we are amplified. So uptime on amplified is your absolute priority on this. Prioritize being amplified, you're good. You're absolutely cooking at that point. So we're going to stand on top of this building because these enemies teleport on this plate. I found the way to stop them from teleport, stand on top of their house. Very simple. Look at this. Don't jump down and step on plate though, because that'll spawn in the Vex enemies. We're not doing that just yet. We want to melt those teleport ads. Yes, there's a problem on this house specifically. The ads teleport on this section more than other sections. It's specifically that plate that I'm looking at. I'm not trolling you. It literally is. Every time I do this, ads teleport. To stop that, I step on top of the house. It sounds daft, but it actually does work. So some of the ads have spawned in, which isn't a big deal, actually. I didn't mean to step on the plate, but it doesn't make a deal because we've actually just spawned. We've actually killed some of the initial fanatics. And the ads are not infinite on plates. So you can step on plate, step off plate, step on plate, step on house. You can do your washing. You can do what you want. You don't have to like stand on this plate and die, and that's it. Like, you can step off. We get a stun with Loyal Moth, which is very good on Arc Staff, because Arc Staff, as you know, will not stun overloads. It doesn't stun overloads. So being able to throw a grenade in your super will stun overloads, because your Arc Grenade Loyal Moth jolts targets because of Spark of Shock. If you don't run Spark of Shock, this build is less powerful. How much less powerful? Probably 25-30% less powerful. It's a big ton. So make sure you get your fragment stuff right. Make sure you've watched the intro to my video. It's very important. I mean, it took me 5-6 minutes to explain the build, but I think with this nuanced build, you've got to try and understand it, because before this week, I never really understood this build either. I never really used it either, to be honest. So it's not until now that I actually understand it, because I played with it. I played with it in the past, like months and months ago, before Final Shape days. I played with it briefly, but things have changed since then, So I just think that this build is unknown, because it sounds, how do the moths exactly work? How do they actually give you overshield? And how do they interact with fragments? It's not exactly clear. Don't say that it is. It's only clear when you have actually played with it and checked what fragments interact with the grid. Like I wouldn't have known that loyal moths would work with Sparker Shock without testing that. I had to test it. I could have watched a video, yeah, but here's the thing with me in videos. I don't really watch too many videos, because maybe if I do watch the video, I need to test it myself to have a better understanding. I'm a very visual learner. I learn off visual more than listening to somebody. I mean, I can listen to somebody, but if I listen to somebody, then I test the build, and then like, oh, it has this interaction, it has that interaction. Then I start to get on the bandwagon of the build more, and I'm more proactive about the build. And I've learned it intrinsically inside of me to like, right, I know this build now. I'm very good with it because I understand it, and I understand how to play with it. It's not just a case of, being a D2 scientist and being on Reddit and, caring about what Zavala has for his breakfast, what types of protein he's having, and all this sort of stuff. You've got to actually play the game as well. Don't just sit on Excel spreadsheets. Play the game. Try and do some things. It's all right to research. Do research, but back up your research with play. Back it up with playtime. You need playtime. You need hours played. You need your experience up to practice with builds. It's not just a case of equip a build, you go, that's it. Sometimes it is, but if a build is very nuanced, this build is very nuanced. It takes some understanding on exactly what you do when you get your overshield. So the loyal moths can be used as a healing grenade. So if you are in cover and you don't want to throw a nade at an ad, you can throw the nade at your feet and the nade will give you overshield. How good is that? So not only is it an offensive grenade, it's a defensive grenade. And it blinds and it jolts. What more can you want from a nade? It might be one of the best grenades in the game, but it's exclusive to Arc Hunter because it's the moths. So people complain about hunters, but he's a fantastic build that you can use that Titan and Warlock do not have access to. So I think any hunter mains, you need to look at your niche builds more and realize that they actually are part of the meta. It's just that nobody's maybe told you that they're part of the meta. That doesn't matter if anyone hasn't told you or not. You understand power in the game. People understand when an ad or champ goes down quickly. They understand power. Okay? So don't be one of these guys that say, oh, well, I need to be told what the meta is. No, you don't. Everyone understands melting. If you're melting the target because of a build, you're like, man, this build's really helping me. Anyone can feel power creep. Anyone can feel it. So you don't need to be told it, right? Just go and try out for yourself and you will see the power of the build. So plates are capped. We're on a decent time for our Arc Hunter build here. We're actually on a very good time. We're going to use the LMG. So I haven't talked about the LMG a lot. This LMG, what is it, elastic something, is very, very good for this. It really does cook in this. With its rapid fire frame, yeah, you go through more ammo than your adaptive and high impact frame LMGs, but you're getting plenty of ammo in this because there's ammo crates to pick up. So it's a good spammy LMG. And when we are in critical circumstance where we need to melt ads quickly and arc shields, honestly, you should craft this gun. It's very, very good at what it does. I was very surprised on how good it actually was. Because we all know what Retrofit Escapade is. It's a Void LMG, 900 RPM. We know that, but it's a different type of roll to this. Well, slightly. but it's fulfilling a similar role to Retrofit. It's just an arc version of it. Same arc type. Basically the same gun, just arc. So this is a very, very good gun when you need an arc LMG and arc LMG and an arc based GM like this with arc shields. It's very good. So I've explained add waves on this. I'm not going into depth about this because I've already really explained it at depth. So there are 2 waves of supplicants on phase 2 and 4 of this middle phase. If anyone would be so crazy enough to actually count every single wave on this, which yes I do, and I know that it's phase 2 and 4. That's a personal note for me that I think to myself when I'm fighting, when I'm about getting ready for supplicant phase. You need to know when supplicant phase is about to appear, because they will wipe you. I like to get amplified and run around over their heads, and they explode. And I don't want to use a super on them because I want my super to cook on the non-supplicant phases. I don't want to be wasting my super on the... Earlier on in the week, I was wasting supers on supplicants. But now I've come to the realization I don't need to be doing that. Just jump over their heads. So Barrier Champ is right. He's always right-hand side. That's why I'm fighting right-hand side. Because the barrier comes right and the overload comes right on the next phase. This is exactly why I play right. Now we're going to melt with the LMG here just to finish. We was debuffed, but we dodged so that we get our health regen back. The biggest threat here now is the Harpies for me. It's not supplicants, it's not the fanatics, it is the Harpies. So that's why I'm trying to actually deal with some of them with the imperative, and it's giving me demo. It's giving me great energy. So here we go, supplicant phase spawns. So I'm going to try and bait them right hand side, which is exactly what I'm doing. I threw a nade there. Let's see if we can deal with them. We've killed a few of them. That's good. Okay, so supplicants down. We can now cook on this phase. There's going to be an overload and a barrier. We're going to focus the overload first, not the barrier. I'm just going to spam my GL because I've got plenty of extra risk to use. I've got plenty of ammo, so I'm just spamming it to take out all of those compelled goblins. I wonder what makes them compelled as opposed to your general goblins. I wonder what the distinction is there. Why are they so compelled? I don't get it. So, we stun with extra risk, then we're going to pop super to cook. Okay, we want to melt this overload down quickly, and we want to get this phase done. We don't need to clear out all of the Harpies. They despawn once all adds are down in middle. Look at this. Adds will despawn, champ will not. We're going to melt the champ down, debuff. I forgot to mention at the start of the video, arc compounding is a factor. Make sure that you've got arc compounding on your artifact. If you were to use my dim link, I don't know if anyone knows this, maybe you can answer the question to me. If somebody pops my dim link, does it auto-equip the artifact for them? Because when I look at my dim link, it shows you what artifact mods I've used. So I actually don't know. I'm going to tell you something here, absolutely crazy. I have never used anyone's dim link ever. You're going to think I'm crazy. I've never used any. I won't. I manually equip things. You know why? Because it's what I was going back to before, right? When I watch somebody, I don't fully trust them. Only until I test it myself will I trust it. It doesn't matter who it is. It can be Datto for all I care. It doesn't matter. Although I don't trust what he says these days either. You know? So I'm saying to you, I don't even use dim link, right? I will look at somebody's dim link, but I won't auto-equip it. Now look at this barrier trolling me. He lost me time. This was ridiculous. So yeah, I don't use dim links. I don't use them. Because I have extended knowledges of fragments. So why would I need to rob a dim link of somebody who knows less than me? Now that's not speedrunners because they know more than me because they're doing some, especially if it's a speedrun that's niche, right? Which there's starting to be that style of content coming up from people, from specialized players. But I'm talking about your general players like Matix and stuff. I ain't using Matix dim link. He knows less than me. What have I to benefit as a player to be using his dim link? He might discover something that somebody else hasn't, and he might, definitely. He's a decent player, knowledgeable that way, but I would just look at what he's using and then equip it. Don't be lazy on dims. Don't be lazy on equipping fragments and aspects. Get used to unequipping this stuff because it goes into your memory bank on how all the builds work under the engine. Okay, it's very important. If you're gonna main D2, which people who play D2 do main D2, even though I know that the community sentiment is low right now. You're still maining it. You're not gonna. What are you gonna do? Play Fortnite? There's nothing else to play. That's another thing. I know there should be content on this overload, but we're just gonna melt him. That's another thing. People are starting to boycott the game a little bit because of the bottles and the RNG loot pool rubbish from Destiny, from Bungie not fixing it. I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing else on the market for you. I'm sorry. There's no other first-person looter shooter. So yeah, the game's badly optimized. It's buggy at times, but there's nothing else on the market. I have tested it. The First Descendant is a trash game compared to Destiny 2. I'm sorry, it's trash because it's third person, and third person is always a higher quality experience over third. Third person games are there to sell you skins. Warframe is the exception because Warframe's a very, very good game, and don't misquote me. I think Warframe's fantastic. Warframe 99's coming out, which I'm going to play anyways. But I'm just saying, a lot of third person games are there to sell horny men skins. And I like to get that stuff from real life. I don't care about, buying skins. I hate the concept of it. I'm a 90s gamer. I don't like microtransactions as the best of times. So that's exactly why the First Season isn't that good of a game. And there's not many people playing it either. I've already checked the numbers. There's barely anyone playing it. So we are debuffing the boss and just spamming extra risk on phase 1. We want to spawn in all harpies, which is totally doable. Because why? Because then we can kill them all with one super. So here we go, look. That's 1. That's 3. That's 65. That's 69 harpies killed, 1 super. See what I'm saying? So we have manipulated HP with extra risk and overshield to spawn in all the harpies, and then the super deals with every single harpy rather than doing 10% damage, then back to extra risk, then you need to kill harpies again. It deals with everything in one cycle, which is exactly what I wanted. Because the Arcstrider super is not useful on this boss because this boss has weird legs and it won't super him correctly. The super does not track this boss good, and it never has done. I should know because I've been playing against this boss for a long time. Arcstrider bypasses him. The tracking's no good on him. So we have to use the super as an ad clear one, unfortunately, and use Exteris and the LMG to get us through DPS. We're on plate 2 now. There's 4 snipers. We need to take care of these snipers by jolting them. Let's get some Exteris in. Kill these as quickly as you can before the boss spawns in. We've got them all. That's good. Right, now we're going to take advantage of Spark of Focus. So pay attention to when I dodge, because when I dodge, I get a lot of grenade energy back. Also, I dodge to get rid of the debuff as well. So the strategy is this: we shoot, we dodge. We shoot, we crouch. We shoot, we crouch. That gives the boss little time to attack me, and the moths will heal me. Look. So look, we're putting in very good damage there. Now it's important that you crouch, shoot. Do not just shoot, you will die very quickly to the boss. I have an arc resist on specifically for this plate. Yes, I have actually build craft part of my build for this plate alone because this boss melts on arc, right? Now, I'm on Hunter, so it's not like on a Warlock or maybe even Titan where I can put in more damage to get me through plate 2. I have to rely on some sustained damage. While we're doing sustained damage, he's hitting me with arc, which was an annoyance. So that's why I had an arc resist on exactly for this. 1 arc, 1 void, 1 concussive dampener. You don't want sniper resist on. You don't want melee resist on. Forget about those trash mods. The only mod that you need in your life is concussive dampener. It is the best resistance mod in GM's end of. There's no other better mod. Don't be running no sniper resists. I never run sniper resist. I used to run it in Glassware. It was required a long time ago. That was on the old resilience changes. Concussive dampener gives more resistance overall to your build against area effect damage and a lot more all host of things in the game. Alright, so make sure you're using concussive, not sniper resist. Melee resist sometimes when you're on a prismatic titan doing prismatic titan things, maybe. maybe. But concussive dampener is going to help you with that when you're meleeing adds anyways. So I still say concussive. But I'm just giving you the distinction on the resistances. And this plate was a factor for me in this run of surviving against his arc attack. And on plate 3 a little bit. Because his gun changes from void to arc. Plate 1 is void, plate 2 is arc, plate 3 is arc. So look at this damage we're putting in here. We're getting our overshields, right? We've had plenty of nades. We haven't used a nade there at back end of DPS because we want 2 nades on final plate. Right? We want 2 nades as we approach because we've got a heal and bane. Well, to be honest, any bane, it doesn't matter, but we need to melt that bane down because this could be a run killer. So I actually spam both nades here, then just spam LMG. This LMG is so good with eddy current. I know I could have dodged, reloaded there with marksman's dodge, but I'm showing you how good it is. Like, if I was not on a hunter, this gun would be very good as well. It'd be very useful. So if I do any more runs this week, we'll see. We'll see because views are weird on Destiny 2 right now. But if I do, I probably will use this LMG again. If I use an exotic in my kinetic or energy slot. I've already showcased the Thunderlord strat. I don't need to show you that again. So we kill all the fanatics immediately with LMG and mobility, running around, keeping our health, because haste gives you health back. And now we are going to do our damage. We're going to do chip damage. Now, I was in 2 minds if to start spamming special ammo here or not. I have special ammo found on the helmet, and I think you should have noticed that I do, because I've had a lot of ammo in this, special-wise. I know that I've had special finisher on, and I've got that on right now with my armor charges. I get it. But we can't always finish an ad, especially on plate 3. So special finisher is less reliable now as opposed to the 80% of the run where we're killing champs. Special finisher has done its job more than enough. It's allowed me to spam the extra risk GL constantly, basically, hasn't it? But now I wasn't sure on this phase if the game was going to be kind to me on ammo, and there's no special bricks on the floor. So I'm not going to spam special here. I want to, so we're just going to spam kinetic tremors. All right, with imperative. In terms of imperative, right, now you're not going to like this either. I think imperative is stronger than transfiguration. For those who know what transfiguration is, imperative is stronger than transfiguration because it's got demolitionist. Unless transfig's got demolitionist, and I'm lying. I need to check dim. Because if I've got that wrong, then somebody's going to call me out on it. So let's have a look here. Transfig. Oh, it has demo. Damn it. So put demo on your transfig. So what I've said's kind of false. They're exactly the same. It's what origin trait you're more into, basically. So yeah, I didn't realise transfig has demo. Guess I missed that one. Harpy spawn in, look at the LMG. We are just melting these enemies. We're going to moth ourselves as a healing nade, look. We get blinded, yes, but we're going to use our super as a deterrent. We're using it as a defensive tool to get rid of fanatics while the harpies are shooting me. We just run past them and they explode, or we can kill them like that, because I didn't know how much we could tank, but we can tank quite a lot of fanatics in this. 2 harpies left. We are done with these harpies. Just about. Machine gun ammo is starting to be low, but that's fine because we don't need that much ammo from here on out with the machine gun, mainly special. So I'm going to spam special now because looks like we're getting the ammo. So I'm going to do special. Look at the damage. We're doing very, very good damage here. Okay, he blinds us. Ad wave is coming up. We need to make sure that we get those harpies down as soon as. We'll dodge to get rid of debuff. Haste, that is, of course. Machine gun doing really good damage there for us in terms of breaking shields and stuff. Harpies are, goblins aren't pushing, which was very weird and peculiar. I don't know why that was. But I guess it's because most of the harpies are killed. So goblins aren't pushing. So what we're going to do is an advanced technique where we break their head off and they push me. This will allow me to get their ammo if any ammo drops. Let's test fate. Boom, there you go. Now that green brick would have been in that Vex mummy milk, but it's not. It's in the middle of the plate. See, so that's exactly what I'm saying, is that little mini strats like that really, really do help out. This was learned from Eater of Worlds a long, long time ago. That was the Eater of Worlds strat to make goblins headless so that they can push you for ammo and all sorts of things like that. So, we're now doing damage. We're just going to damage, speed up the run. Why not? We have plenty of special now. We've got so much. Alright, we have some machine gun ammo, just enough to deal with the phase. That means that the machine gun has played perfectly as a support style heavy for add clear, add breaking arc shields, and quickly melting down adds. Look at this. Quickly melting down adds. And it's plus a hybrid add clear weapon plus damage style weapon because it's got target lock. Target lock on machine guns are very much a very useful tool in solo GMs. They're not on a solo DPS chart. That might be correct, but we're not doing DPS. Do you see a raid boss here? Is there any raid boss apparent in this GM? That's the next level of GMs. They're going to stick a damn raid boss in the middle of them and call it like super grandmasters. That's what they're going to do. 16 million HP air tracks coming at you in the middle of a GM. I would kind of like it. I'm not going to lie. It'd be kind of interesting. Just shake it up. So now all we're doing is DPS with Dexterous. The run is done. We can amplify ourselves behind cover. Look at the dodge. Look at the dodge. Look, hunters. I've just got my dodge back. It's almost mimicking Radiant Dance Machines, which is kind of nuts. Well, not exactly, but you get it. It's very good mobility regen. So the boss is just about dead. That was a solo GM on a Moth, Keeper, Blind, Support, Build. Take it as you will. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.